Okay, so if you are watching this video, that means you're ready to check your answers for problem 1. I want to go through this problem with you just so we make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, so 1 types at a constant rate. So remember, a constant rate is comparing 2 different values together, usually something being done in a certain time limit. So he can type a full page of text in 3, and then it says 12 minutes, but it should say 3.5 minutes. And hopefully I told you this before you started working, or else that sucks. Okay, we want to know how many pages P Juan can type after T minutes. Okay, so they're letting us know that P is for the number of pages and T is for the number of minutes. So let's first talk about our rate. Our rate should be our pages per minute. So that means pages over minutes. So kind of like we were doing distance over time in our last lesson. Okay, they want us to write a linear equation. Well, the way that we write a linear equation is we start off with what we know our constant rate to be, which they told us in the first sentence. They said he can type a full page. So a full page means 1 page. So that's the pages, P. And then they told us in 3.5 minutes. So that's 3.5 for T. So if I wanted to write this, I could write 1 page. I'm just going to put PG for page, over 3.5 minutes. Okay, we should have learned yesterday that if we want to write an equation, we have to set this equal to its variables, which in our case is P over T. Okay, from here we can continue by cross multiplying. Or actually, we don't even have to cross multiply here because we just need to get rid of this T right here. So I'm getting rid of this T. I have to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. And we end up with the pages is equal to 1 over 3.5 times T. Okay, so what I want you to notice here is that I have a fraction, and then inside of my fraction I have another fraction. Okay, that is what we call a complex fraction, and we actually don't like those to happen. And when this is happening, we want to figure out how to make it just a normal fraction, not a fraction in a fraction. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly, and then we're going to move on. So first off, I'm going to take this 3.5 and I'm going to write it as a mixed number. So instead of writing 3.5, I'm going to write 7/2. So I have 1 divided by 7/2. Now I'm going to write this out horizontally. So I'm going to write 1, I'm going to write the symbol I hate, divided by 7/2. Okay? We should know that when we are dividing by a fraction, we change the symbol and we flip and multiply. Okay? So this means I'm actually multiplying by 2/7. That's how you divide by a fraction. Okay? In this case, this means this actually equals 2/7. So instead of writing P equals 1 over 3.5 T, I'm going to write P equals 2/7 times T. So that is our linear equation. That's what should go here. P equals 2/7 times T. Okay? You either have already checked this equation or you have not, but now is the time where we are typing in or checking how many pages we are able to read in a certain time. So we're plugging in these values for T. So if I times it by 0, I get 0 pages, which makes sense, right? In 0 time, I type 0 pages. But in 5 minutes, 2 over 7 times 5, that gives me 10 over 7. Okay, so 10 over 7 pages, you might want to divide that and see what it is. It should be about 1.4 something. Okay, then we're going to plug in 10. We get 2 over 7 times 10. which is 20 over 7. Okay, so that is going to be 2.8 something, so I'm going to just round it here. P equals 2 over 7 times 15. That's 30 over 7. So we know this should be 4.2 something. And then our last one, P equals 2 over 7 times 20. 40 over 7, which we should know is 5.7 something. Okay, so now that I have all these t values and I have all these p values, I know that I can plot them on our graph as ordered pairs. So 0, 0 should be on our graph. That's this point right here. I'm going to put a dot there. That's one of our points. The next one should be 5 and 1.4. So I'm going to go all the way to 5 for t. I'm going to go up 1 and then kind of at the middle point. 1.4 should be about there. I'm going to put a dot there. Wrong button. About there. And then the next one is 10 and 2.8. So I go all the way to 10 for t, and I go up 2 and then 0.8, so almost close to 3. So about right there. Then we have 15, 4.2. So I'm going to go to 15 and up 4.2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just a little bit more. Okay, hopefully you can see that now that I'm zooming in. And the last one is 25.7. So I'll go all the way to 20, and I'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 0.7 means it's pretty close to being like towards 6. So put a point right there. So that gives me all the points that are created by this equation. It says about how long would it take Juan to type a 5-page paper. Okay, how long would it take him to write a 5-page paper? So there's 2 ways I can do this. One, I can use the graph, and then 2, if I wanted to, I can actually use the equation. So I'm going to show you both ways. So if I use the graph, what I want to do is I want to look at the pages, and I want to go to 5. And I want to go across and think about, well, if there was a line here, where would it cross? To me, when I look at it, it's probably crossing in this area here. So I would say it probably takes him 17 to 18 minutes to write 5 pages. So I'm going to write down, that's my guess. Okay. So I'm going to write about 17 to 18 minutes. Okay, but I can actually check this and see exactly how long it takes because we have an equation. So the equation is 2 over 7 times t. So they're telling me that I want to write 5 pages. So instead of writing p, I'm going to write 5 equals 2 over t. Wrong. 2 over 7 times t. And then I just solve for what t is. So here, I can multiply by the reciprocal. Hopefully we're getting used to doing that now. Something in our toolbox we need to have. So multiplying both sides by 7 over 2. Cancel, 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 cancel. Okay, this gives me 35 over 2. So I have 35 over 2 equals t. And if you take 35 and you divide it by 2, what do you get? You get 17 and a half. So my guesstimate was pretty good, right? I said it was between 17 and 18 minutes, and the actual time it takes is 17 and a half minutes. Okay, hopefully this was helpful to you. If you had to skip around to find your answers to check them, that's fine with me. Move on to problem 2.